Okay, we'll just wait for a couple more minutes for people to arrive, and then we'll get started. Okay. Hi, Patricia. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, who else was coming? We'll wait one more minute and then we'll get started. There's a couple people who said they were going to come, so I'll just wait to see if they show up, and then if not, we'll get started. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. I'm going to move this. Okay, we're going to get started, I think. So let's just begin. Sitting tall and straight. Close the eyes. Bring the attention inward. Nothing to do, nothing to seek. Everything we need is already within. Fix your mind on God alone. Rest your mind in God alone. And in God we will live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt. May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering, and enjoy this practice through our senses and be nourished through our bodies. Let's come to standing. So let's just start with a mantra for purification 3 times to purify the space, the grounds, and all the psychic channels within. Let's do it together. Om Pavitraha Pavitrava Savarashtanga Topiwa Yahas Medipandrikaksham Sabhaya Vyantraha Sachi. Om Pavitraha Pavitrava Savarashtanga Topiwa Yahas Medipandrikaksham Sabhaya Vyantraha Sachi. Om Pavitraha Pavitrava Savarashtanga Topiwa Yahas Medipandrikaksham Sabhaya Vyantraha Sachi. Release the arms down now. So let's begin with some warm-up exercises to prepare the body for the practice. Just move gracefully. Imagine you're the witness watching the body moving by itself. So start with head rolls, shoulders away from the ears. Try to bring the ears all the way to the shoulders as the head moves around. And switch direction of rotation. Good. Now roll the shoulders backwards. And then amplify the effect by bringing the arms into the movement. Imagine the shoulder blades as the wings of your heart. So spread your wings wide. And roll the shoulders forward now. Tap into the sensation of the shoulder blades hugging and separating from the spine. And then the arms come into the movement now. Good. And release. So from here, we're taking the left arm up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend to the right. Coming back up. Inhale again, bend to the right. Reach up again, lengthen the side body. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. Make like grass blowing in the wind. Last time, inhale, come up. This time, hold the breath. So you can go a little bit deeper, slide the right hand down the right leg. Try not to create folds in the underside of the body. Coming back up. Other side, right arm reaches up. Moving fluidly, go to the left. And then coming back up. Again, lean. Lose yourself in the sensations. Up and bend. Coming back up and bend. Last time. Inhale, reach up high, hold the breath, see if you can go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Push the ribs and the hips out towards the left. Exhale, come back. Good. Now from here, we're going to do breath of joy. So the first three movements are done on an inhale, last one is done on the exhale through the mouth. It looks like this. Okay, you have to do with exuberance to make it live up to the name. Two more. And last one, just stay hanging down. Just allow the body to stop shaking. Then roll your way up. Good. Okay, now from here, we're just going to press the arms up. Turn the hands so the palms are facing up. Inhale, lift up off the heels and come back down. Inhale, rise up, push into the base of the toes and come back down. Coming up. Press back down the heels and back up and down. Last time, inhale, rise up And push the heels down. Release the arms, shake out the wrists, bring the hands from side to side as fast as you can. And then up and down. Good. So now we're going to come down onto the hands and knees, going to work, of course, the thighs, all of the areas of the body that help us in the back bend. So it's not just the back, of course. It's the whole system of the body that works with us in order to get us deeper into the poses. So we're going to start off with cat-cow. So hands underneath the shoulders and knees about hip width apart. Inhale. Stretch the belly skin, feel the shoulder blades coming together. Exhale, round the back, feel the shoulder blades separating. Inhale again. Arch the back, allow the heart to fall between the shoulder blades. Exhale, push the heart right up between the shoulder blades. Inhale again. Externally rotate the arms, the eyes, the elbows are facing forward. Exhale. Roll the arm bones in, the eyes, elbows facing one another. Inhale. Keep the back neck from trying to keep the back of the neck from getting wrinkled. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale. Try to push the heart as far forward as possible away from the seat. Exhale. And last one. Inhale. Exhale. This is an extension of what we just did. Inhale, raise the right leg up. Tiger pose. Exhale, swing it out to the right. And throw it up and to the right. Up, and swing it forward. So nice movements, nice loose movements, just to open up the hips. Three more. And switch legs. Left leg comes up, and then just throw the leg forward. And down. Come into child's pose for a moment. Rest, breathe in. Breathe out. Let go of all fatigue. Now we're going to slide forward onto the belly. Good. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Squeeze the palms together if you can. Now we're just going to lift the upper back up off the mat. Inhale, come up. And down. And up. And down. Anchor down through the hips and the legs. Up. And down. Up. And down. So good upper back strengthener. Up. And down. Up. Down. Up. Down. This time hold as you come up. Slowly come down. Again, inhale. Exhale, drop all the fatigue out of the body. Relax. Now we're going to take the arms forward. So you've seen probably this done in a few Dharma classes. We're going to throw the legs up and then the arms. So the trick here is not to use your hands too much. Use the momentum of the body rocking. So when you throw your legs up, that's what propels the upper body to come up. Good. And release. Good. Forehead on the hand. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to push back up. Come on to child's pose here. So this sequence has 4 movements. On the inhale, we're going to come into high cat. Exhale, just drop our hips between your hands, come into cobra. Inhale back up into high cat. Exhale, pull all the way back into child's pose. So inhale up. Exhale forward with the chest, cobra. Inhale back up, high cat. Exhale, pull all the way back. Move smoothly. Smooth transitions up. Forward on the exhale, back up on the inhale, high cat. Exhale, seat all the way back. Elongate the spine, come up. Come forward, chest open, shoulders back. Come back up. And child's pose. Imagine you're a wave of water on the ocean. Side comes up, it's like the wave cresting. Coming back up, and it slowly flattens out again. A few more times, coming up, and forward, and up, and back. Keep on visualizing that movement of the body, moving gracefully, rounding and arching. 2 more, up, forward, up. Keep watching the body like you're the witness. Last time. Coming up, forward, coming back up. Child's pose. And just stay in child's pose again. Inhale. Exhale. Remove all fatigue. Soften. We're going to move again onto our belly. So do it this way. So we're going to work our quads a little bit, stretch our quads, pick up the right foot and hold the foot with your hand and press it down alongside the hip. Now if you can, you spin your hand on the top of the foot. So you smear your heel, you palm into the toes, and then you hold the toes, and you might be able to get more leverage with heel to palm. You can push the foot further down. Now, if you want a little bit more, you press into your left hand, lift the elbow off the mat, and keep on extending the right knee back towards the back end of the mat. So you're stretching the quad as well. So just bring the attention to all those areas where you're trying to find release and more length, and that's where the prana will go, as Dharma always says. And release that side. Just rotate the ankle a couple of times just to loosen. And then the other foot. Spin your hand on the foot if you like. And wrap your fingers around the toes and then pull the foot down. Remember to keep on extending the left knee back. If you want, push into your hand, lift the elbow up. This might give you a little bit more power to get the foot further down. Well, of course, according to your condition. And then coming back down. Shake out or rotate the ankle a few times if you like, and coming down. All right, next one we're going to do, roll to the right, pick up the left foot, bring the knee up and see if you can hook the foot into the crook of the arm. Good, so the toes are pressing into the crook of the arm, and then keep pulling, see if you can get the other leg up the same way. So if you keep that strong grip with the, keep the pressure between the foot and the arm, you might be able to see the other. That's it. And then press the feet up into the forearms, try to get your elbows up higher than the shoulders. You can use your hands if it's not possible to get your feet to the crooks of the arms, just use your hands so you can just try to get your chest wide. If you do have your feet in the crooks of the elbows, just trying to pull the feet forward so the toes come over the shoulders more. That's it. Good. Now from here, we're going to pull the elbows in towards the body so the shoulder blades come towards one another. And some of you might be able to get the fingertips on the ground. If you can get your fingertips on the ground, push into the fingertips, lift the chest. So no matter if you can't quite go all the way, just again, just do according to your condition, modify as you need to. That's it. Real good. Good. Nice. And then to come down, just roll forward onto your chest a little bit more. As the knees come up and release. Relax. Forehead on the hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now sit back up. Sit on your heels. So we're going to take the arms up, take hold of the opposite elbows. So you want to squeeze as though you're trying to get the elbows to meet, so the arms are beside the ears. Inhale, pull the arms up a little bit more. Exhale, try to push the arms back behind the ears. So keep your heart lifted, keep the navel in, inhale, lift up. Feel the body coming up the hips. Exhale, draw the shoulders back and drop the shoulders. Each time you inhale, grow a little bit taller. Keep pushing the elbows up towards the sky. Exhale, pull them back further. Drop the shoulders again. We'll do this about 5 times. Keep nice and firm connection with the seat on the heels. Try not to drop back into your hips when you exhale, when you drop your shoulders. Last time, come up. Exhale, pull the elbows back. And bring the elbows back in front and release. Just drop the shoulders down a few times. Good. Now we're going to come up onto our knees. Anchor down through the tops of the feet. So just to work the strength in our thighs a little bit, which is also important in some of the back bends. So we're going to, there's a few different options. You can have your hands across the chest if you're a bit stronger, or on the, so there's a few options. You can, like the easier ones are with your arms across the chest or on your thighs or even on your seat. If you're stronger, you can take your elbows out to the side like a pitchfork or arms all the way up. So what we're going to do is going to inhale, lengthen, and then hold the breath, lean back, roll the thighs towards them. Imagine trying to press your thighs flat and inwards. And then press into the tops of the feet and the shins come back up. So do this 5 times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, go back. This time, try to go back a little bit further each time. Okay, you want to tuck the tailbone. Just try to imagine that the lower back is flattening. If you have your arms extended, squeeze the arms by the ears. Really press down in the inner, roll the thighs towards one another, and really press down through the big toe, the front of the big toe, the inner edges of the feet. Feeling very strong, you can try to hover a little bit when you're in the lowest position. Good. And when you're done, whenever you're done, you can just rest in child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out all fatigue, relax. And then roll your way up. Good. Okay, let's do a few sun salutations now. Come to the top of the mat. Hands come to the heart center. From the heart center, breathe up to Prakriti, the third eye. Exhale back down to the heart. Remain firmly established in divinity, in God. There's no separation between you and God. You're always together. So let's move together as one to stay in the collective mind. Reach the arms up over the head. Go down, hands to the ground. Chest to the sides. Right foot back into lunge. Lower the knee, drop down to the seat. Lift the head. Come into high plank. Ashtanga Namaskar. Knees, chest, and chin down. Glide forward into your cobra. Move gracefully. Seamless transitions. Roll back into downward facing dog. Sink the heart towards the ground. Right foot steps forward to the hands. Bring the hips down nice and low. Now feet together, Uttanasana. Chest to the sides, head down. Come all the way up to standing. Bring the hands back to the heart. Inhale to raise your arms, go long. Stretch the whole front of the body. Try not to make folds in the lower back. Bring the hands down again. Left foot back into a lunge. Into the high plank. Lower knees, chest, and chin. Smoothly glide. Just keep watching the body moving. Just pay particular attention to the spine, how it moves. Left foot forward to the hands. And feet together, Uttanasana. Come all the way up to standing. Return home, Pranamasana. And again, reach up and back. Go down. Right foot back. Into the plank. Good. Lower. And glide. Bury your mind deep in the heart. Watch the body move with more steadiness and ease and grace. Right foot steps forward. Feet together. Bow to the legs. Sazon humbleness. Standing salutes. Return home. And the left side, reach up and back. Go down. Don't worry about the breath. Just move the body in a way that intuitively allows the breath to stay steady and even. Lower down. Come forward and back. Left foot steps. Right foot follows. Rise. Hands back to the heart. Going a little bit, adding a few movements in here. Go back, come down. And then from here, bend your knees, keep your knees bent, chest to your thighs, interlace your fingers behind the back. Inhale. Lift the seat, push the chest further forward as you try to get the chest right on the knees. Uttanasana again, by bringing the arms over the head towards the ground in front of the head. If you have the flexibility, you try to bring your forehead to the shin, straighten your legs. Use the body to push the legs back. And then bring the hands back down onto the back and in front of the feet. Right leg back, knee down. Kapayasana. Reach the arms up and back. Arch the back. I'm not going to stay. We're just going to come right up. And to come back, swing the left leg up and back. One-legged dog. That's it. Come forward into that plank. Keep that leg hovering. And then come down. Chest comes down first. And then when the chest comes down, you can lower the left leg. Slide right into cobra. And back into downward facing dog. Sink the heart towards the ground. The right leg comes all the way up. One-legged dog again. Step the foot between the hands. Knee down, Kapayasana again. Just watch the body like it's doing a dance. And bring the hands back down. Beautiful. Step the back foot in, glide it in to meet the front foot. Forward fold. Come all the way up to standing. Hands above the head. Return home. And reach up again. Move in a way that's pleasing to the witness who's watching. Take the arms behind the back, join together. Bend the knees. Inhale. Push the chest forward, further forward. Exhale. Uttanasana. Forehead to the shins, arms over your head. Lift the seat as much as you can. Good. And then bring the hands back down onto the back, onto the ground. Step the left foot back into a lunge. Kapyasana. Arms over the head. And bring the hands back down. Now push into your hands. Raise your right leg up into one-legged dog. Come forward into your plank, shoulders hovering over the shoulders, shoulders hovering over the wrists. Lower down, chest comes down between the hands. And then, as soon as chest touches, the right foot comes down, the body comes up into cobra. Back into downward facing dog. Allow the heart to melt. Left leg sweeps up behind and steps between the hands. Landing it lightly. Knee down, Kapyasana again. Arms over the head. Bring the hands down. And then just allow the right foot to come in beside the left. Fold down onto the legs. Come all the way up to standing, arch back. Return home. Standing in Pranavasana, inhale again from the heart to the third eye. Exhale back down to the heart. Remain always established in divinity. Do the practice for God, for all beings. Release. Okay. Everybody feeling a bit warm now? Warmer? Okay, so we're going to come down here. So my approach to backbending is like I always think of it as heart opening. And what I try to do is I just try to imagine my spine getting as long as possible. So I'm always visualizing my spine just when I'm doing the movement. So it starts at the base of the spine and there's a natural curve in the spine, right in the lower back, and it goes up. So I'm always just trying to, when I'm doing the back bends, I'm just always trying to lengthen that line like a thread, like a string being pulled. So, you know, you don't want to have any kinks in that thread or in that line. So you're always just trying to get as long as you can, pull the string longer and longer and longer. So the tailbone just kind of goes down and under, and then you just pull up by the head. So this is the visualization I use when I'm doing any of my back bends. And I find that this helps. And so when I'm doing any kind of cobra or like movement into a cobra, into back bend from like in the forward motion, I'm always imagining like the movement starts from the base of the spine. And like if this is the base of the spine, like the heel of my palm, going up like that. Okay, so I'm always just allowing, like it's never an abrupt movement. You're never trying to crunch your back, right? That's going to eventually put a lot of pressure on your back. So I'm always just trying to find as smooth of a transition as possible to find as much length in my lower back. Some people are tighter in the lower backs than others, but you want to just try to just keep on visualizing that space being created. When you think about, when you say that there's a divine spark in every person and every being, like the divine spark is God, right? And so, and it's equally present in all beings. But when you think of that spark, there's no saying what shape it is or how big it is, because really we are infinite, right? There is no limit, we're everywhere. So when you say stuff like, create space in your body when you're moving, the idea is basically to imagine that there is no, this body is not containing that space. It goes beyond that. So you just want to keep on imagining just creating as much space as possible inside, so that you just have that boundlessness of movement, a range of movement, of love, of everything that you can give to everybody, right? It's always an offering. So that's always visualization. It's something to think about when you're doing your practice, just to keep it more in a spiritual sense. And when you make things an offering, then it opens you up completely. Whenever you do any kind of offering, you're not thinking so much about yourself. You're not thinking about your own attachments to the results. You're thinking about
the other person who you're dedicating it to, right? So that's the idea of behind that's the approach that I like to take when I'm doing my practice. So so if we go back to, let's say, a cobra pose, I like to sort of start with my hands a little bit behind. So I push against the floor and I pull the chest behind the hands. And again, like this movement starts at the base of the spine. So I'm just kind of following the movement of my back. I'm visualizing the shape of my back. And I'm just imagining that I'm just extending the line. So just following the natural curves of my body, my back. And I'm just stretching them out a little bit more. Shoulders back. Okay, so it's always a gradual movement, you know, you're never like cranking yourself up. You just start and you just envision that the line, this spinal column is growing long from both sides, not only like, you know, in the forward direction, but in the backward sense as well. So you're always trying to stretch out that line. Okay, so just try to get that sensation or that visualization. Open up the shoulders. You just try to lift the heart up as much as you can. Okay? Okay. Nice. Beautiful, Miro. Keep the back neck long. Remember that when you start to raise your head, sometimes your head goes back a little bit too far, so you don't want to pinch the back of the neck. Keep the shoulders down and keep the neck extending out of the shoulders as well. Anytime if you have any questions, please please feel free to unmute yourself, okay? So, all right. So now, let's come back. Do you guys have wheels, like Dharma yoga wheels, by any chance? Who has one? Okay, so we might use a wheel, so if you do have, great. So let's just take our wheel actually. This helps in a lot of postures, I think. So let's just roll our backs out a little bit. So just place the wheel behind our back, just along the center of the back. And then, you know, like this is pretty common type of exercise that you know, just kind of roll out your back. Just go all the way along the spine, right up to the top of the back. Just feel it cracking out your spine a little bit. Okay, now just sit with your with your wheel, like lean your back. Just try to press the sacrum against the wheel. Take your arms over the head, and just stretch your arms like so you're doing Kapyasana. Reach the arms, and then pull the arms back, and just try to bring your head back. The back of the head resting on the wheel. Try to press as much of the back against the wheel as possible, so you feel connection along the wheel, along all areas of the back as much as you can. And do this one more time. Bring your arms up, stretch, and then reach back. Try to get your shoulder blades, top of your shoulder blades, as far back, close to the wheel as possible behind you. And then coming back. All right. So we're going to wheel all the way down until our shoulders come down to the ground. And then just hold the outer edges of the edge of the wheel that are farthest away from you. Shoulders on the ground. Raise the legs up. Bring them towards the floor behind you like you're doing Halasana. And slowly bring your legs all the way back down. Touch the toes to the ground. Roll the thighs towards one another so you feel a stretch along the thighs as well. And do this 3 times. So nice smooth movements. Keep your legs long. Legs all the way back over your head if you want. And then always keep the back connected to the wheel. Once you've done 3, just roll back to seated position. So roll all the way back. That's the idea. Okay, so once you've got that, just come back seated again. So we're going to push the wheel into our bellies for a cobra pose. Okay, so we're just going to place our wheel in front and just allow the hips to just sink down to the ground and just press your hands into the wheel and then just lean back. So if you feel a crunch in your back, again, just try to extend the legs, push it a little bit further forward, come up a little bit higher, just try to get as much extension through the front of the body as possible. Just hold on to the wheel, you can just move your hands to the front of the wheel. You're leaning your belly against the wheel and just bring your head back. Drop the shoulders. Just concentrate on the area in the lower back especially. Just try to lengthen that area. Okay. And then we're going to release. So this is a nice way to practice King Cobra. What you want to do, like the wheel, I find helps you, like if you lean against the wheel like I was doing, so you press your hands into the mat, you just drop your shoulders, you put your elbows against the body, you bring your head back as far as you can, so you're just trying to get as tall as possible. And as you're holding onto the wheel, you're pressing the wheel with your hands, you bring the feet up, imagine you're squeezing socks behind your knees. You point the toes, you try to get your body up a little bit higher so that your chest, your whole rib basket is higher than the wheel. And then you might be able to find a little bit more help, assistance from the wheel to bring your head up and back and the toes to the forehead. So you're just trying to, again, just imagine, not necessarily going into a really deep back bend, but trying to get extension first. You try to get as tall as possible first. So the spine's length is nice and long. And then you bring your head back and you point your toes right up. You point your toes. You can also do this against the wall. So unfortunately, I'm a little bit far away from the wall. But what you would do is you place yourself against the wall and your shins would be against the wall. So you have 2 places to support you, basically. You roll your wheel towards you. You have the wall behind you. And you keep pressing into the wheel. And you see if you can get, you might be able to, you keep, the wall will keep your shins straight. Sometimes like the legs don't go as, you want to have your shins as vertical as possible in order for your feet to eventually find the head. So you have to roll your wheel like really close to you and like just press into the wheel. Just bring your arms, hug the elbows against the body, and just press the outside of the wheel, the furthest edge of the wheel away from you, and just rise up tall. That's the idea. Muriel, you're quite close actually. Walk your hands closer. So for this, the King Cobra, you have to have your fingertips pretty much right beside your hips. Come onto your fingertips. Come onto your fingertips. You have lots of power in your fingertips. That's it. Beautiful, Patricia.
And then Anne-Marie, that's really good. Good. Pushing the wheel against you. That's the idea. Nice and slow. Good. Now straighten your arms a little bit more, Miro. Are you able to get your hands even closer to your body and even closer to your hips? Right in front of your hips. Take a rest when you need to. Okay. That's the idea, Anne-Marie. Now, Anne-Marie, I think your wheel's a little bit too close. You're coming a little bit too high. You don't want to have your hips on the wheel. Like your wheel should be sort of like it start there, but then you slide down. You push the wheel against you. You slide your hips to sink, but you keep on growing tall through the head. Okay, give that another. That's it, Patricia. Good. Socks behind the knees. You got it. You got it. Good. Press into the fingertips really hard. That's it. That's it. Muriel, you're really close. You're like this far. You're really getting close. Yeah. So just remember, the fingertips are right beside the hips. Okay, so they're pretty much right there. You press into your fingertips. Your fingertips have a lot of power in them, like it more so than just flat hands. You want to really press into your fingertips and then push your chest right up. That's the idea. Better. Good. Yep. Now bring your legs up. Squeeze the knees, the feet towards your seat. That's the idea. Okay, good. And then that's it, girls. Good. And release. Come down, relax. So, you know, when you're doing this pose, a king cobra, think about doing a camel pose, right? Like when you're in camel, the idea is to try to get your chest as high as possible, right? You pull down on the seat. I'll move back a little bit so you can see. So you're doing a camel pose. You place your hands on the seat, you push into the seat and down at the same time. So as you push in, you lift your chest. As you pull down, you imagine your tail, you're pulling the tail under. Your hips are forward. And it's the same idea, the same feeling that you get when you're doing your king cobra. And when you lean back, you know, you can take your hands to the heels, whatever. So it's the same type of idea. Okay, so that's the same kind of motion you want to get. Not so much like an extreme back bends, more like getting the height in the chest first. And then it'll take care of the rest. The head will go back, and then the rest of it will follow. Okay, so let's work on camel a little bit and work towards Lagavasthasana, so full camel. So there's a few, you know, Dharma teaches this one, right? You take one elbow up, you bend your hand back, and then you go back. This is why we're doing those stretches before with your thighs, to strengthen your thighs so that you can come down with control, so you don't just fall over backwards. So you want to try to keep that idea that we did before, keeping the thighs firm. Imagine you're trying to press your hands, you're imagining you're pressing your hands into the thighs and pulling them in at the same time, rolling the thighs inwards and anchoring down to the tops of the feet. Okay, so they can go down with control. So you can take either one elbow up or both hands, extend the fingers, bring them almost right beside the ears, and go back flatter. You don't have to go back like a big, like you would drop your head right back. You can go flatter first. And then your fingers will find the ground a little bit more easily, more gradually, and then you can take your head down. Okay, so let's try that first. Your fingers will find the ground first. So you press your hands together, so keep your fingertips strong. You bring your elbows beside your head, squeeze the
elbows against the head, and then really try to get long as you come down. That's the idea. You don't have to have your hands right against your back. You can extend them out a little bit. So my hands are not, they're not folded back too far. They're a little bit more like right angles. The forearms are right angles to the upper arms. And then you really press down into the inner shins. Okay. That's it. You can do this against the wall too. If you're fearful of going back too fast and too hard, you just go close to the wall and then you find your hands on the wall and then you can walk your way down the wall. Okay. Nice modification. Usually start, so the good idea is start a little bit further away from the wall so that you don't go into, like when you find the wall and you go down, you're not going too much into a deep back bend. You have a shallower curve. It's a little bit easier on the back. As you get more flexible, you can go closer to the wall and then eventually your hands will come close to the feet. Okay, good. Give yourself space. That's it, Patricia, good. Now another nice exercise, if you're doing it against the wall and you get your hands all the way to the ground, you can try to push your chest against the wall. So you're just trying to open up the chest a little bit more, try to get the openness in the chest a little bit more. It's your comfort level. Good, nice and slow. Good, now straighten your arms and just try to push your chest forward as though you're trying to kiss the wall with your chest. That's the idea, Anne-Marie. You might be a little, yeah, you might be a little bit far from the wall. Good. Take a rest as you need to, okay? Don't, all right. And then rest. All right, so you can sit up again when you're ready. So as you progress into your back bends, to be able to do drop backs and stuff like that and coming back up, I definitely start from like the lower down position, so on your knees like this. Like if you can work it from camel, from full camel and come up from there, then that is a way that you would eventually progress towards your full drop backs to your feet. So you can start just as we did before, like with your fingertips on the ground, like if you're doing Urdhva Dhanurasana, you can come into it from here, a little bit more easy, right? And then from here, you turn your hands around. If you can get your head up off the ground, that's a good thing. And then just try to push off the head and come it back down. As you get a little bit more flexible. You want to walk your hands a little bit more in and try to come up higher. So you just try to straighten your arms a little bit more. You have to imagine like sort of like a string pulling you by the belly button and pulling you forward. And eventually you'll be able to, you have to bend your elbows a little bit and push off the fingertips. And if you can do this, you really, you'll eventually be able to come back up. Okay, so it's good to work both ways, not only going back, but from back coming up the other way. And when you have the strength in both sides, then that's what allows you to eventually do, like, you know, come like up and back and forth interchangeably, easily. All right, so you want to give that a try, come onto your back. And just see first, like, just gauge where you're at. So if you can take your head off the ground, then that's the first start. If you can't, then you can just keep working, like just with your fingers on the ground and just have your head on the ground. And it's still a good exercise. Just push, imagine you're trying to push your thighs forward and your chest up. That's it. And the closer you get your fingertips to the feet, the more the body is going to want to tend to come up because it's in an unnatural position. So it's going to want to come up. So press with your thighs, Patricia. That's the idea. That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. That was good, Miro. Nice. So again, just get that visualization of being pulled up by the belly button. Someone's holding you to a string. Someone's holding you in front, from in front of the string, and just pulling you up, and follow that movement. Okay, girls. For the three girls at the back, you can, I would move a little bit closer to the wall. If you're too flat, it's going to be hard to come up. That's it. Yeah, good. So if you want to get a little bit closer to the wall, move a little bit closer so that if you're really flat, it takes a lot more energy to come up because you have to work harder. So this is why, like, you know, if you can get your hands closer to the feet or to the wall, it's going to make the body's going to want to come up. It's because it's not comfortable there. So, okay. That's the idea. Beautiful, Patricia. Good. How you doing, Miro? Good. Yeah, that's it. So try to come up a little bit more evenly. So walk your hands. So like when you're coming up, when you're walking up the wall, try not to twist the hips a little. Try not to twist the hips. Try to remain as you know, try to walk your hands as close as possible. Like don't take big steps with your hands, little steps so that you come up straighter and not twist so much, okay? Good. Again, don't do this to the point of exhaustion. That's it. All right, so I found that there's a few things in poses that make a huge difference. They're very small little things, but they make a huge difference. And it's finding the pressure points, it's finding the power points in your body. So the power points in your body are the fingertips. They really help. Like, you know, like if you have your hands flat, all the energy just kind of, it kind of disperses a little bit. It just kind of, but if you have your fingertips, they're very pointed little areas, right? Like there's lots of power in those little tiny areas. And you can just concentrate the power in those areas as opposed to if you have flat hands. Same with like your toes, the base of your toes, this part of the foot. This makes a huge difference when you're doing any kind of like arm balances, like handstand or anything that's just try to drive or inversions, to just try to drive the energy in the right alignment. It goes straight up. So, you know, it's hard when you're doing like to try to find a balance. You're pushing off the toes, right? But if you really press down into your toes, you can find a balance and like engage there. You have to engage your muscles in order to stay up, right? So it's the same thing with the fingertips. And when you can push into your fingertips, that gives you the power to really give yourself a little bit more forward motion if you're trying to come up or down, whatever. Okay, so we're going to move on to another back bend, which is working towards getting Dasana. So you take the wheel in front of the body and you roll forward until your chest comes on, your shoulders come onto the ground, and then you hold the edge of the wheel, inside the wheel, and then actually you have to kind of roll the wheel a little bit more towards you. So it's more like just underneath the rib cage. And then you place yourself so that you'll be uncomfortable for a few moments as you grab the wheel by the outer edges and you bring your legs up. Okay, so with the wheel pressing into your belly and holding onto the wheel, you'll get your legs up. And then you extend your legs as much as possible. You bend the knees again. You point the toes. You might be able to get your toes to the head. Okay, so using the hands against the outside edge of the wheel. The shoulders, the front of the shoulders pressing on the ground. And the wheel to press into your belly to give you a little bit more of an ability and assistance to find your way into the wheel. So you can try that if you like. Just place your wheel in front. Actually, let's do this first. Just kind of work our core a little bit. So place your hands on the ground. And then just lift your legs up and back down. And back up and down. And back up. And if you want to try to go a little bit further, you try to take one hand up off the ground. Switch arms. Eventually just try to find a point. You have to kind of roll your side of your body inwards and just sink your belly into the wheel. Lift your chest. Engage your thighs. And take both hands off. It's a good balance. It's like, you're using the wheel to just, find your way to use the wheel more effectively into, that's the idea. Straighten the legs. That's it. And then just lift the chest. If anybody's ever done partner yoga before, when you're laying on someone's feet, it's the same type of idea. The wheel is pretty much in that same position, and that's it. Body has to be a little bit more in front of the wheel. That's it, Patricia. Now really extend your legs back and bring your arms beside you, alongside the body instead of forward. Bring your arms back a little bit. That's the idea. That's it. Engage your leg. That's it. That's it. Keep trying. Good. Okay, so the idea that getting the pressure in the wheel is what helps you to just eventually find your way so that it can help you in these other poses. So now you can try to go into the Garudasana. So just roll forward, find a place on the wheel where you can, I would just try to bring your hands shoulders down, and then you might have to adjust. So you might have to pull the wheel in a little bit so you can hold the edges of the wheel, the back edges of the wheel. And then you can lift one leg up and then the other. And keep pressing the hands into the wheel. And as you press your arms into the ground and into the wheel, this will allow, keep pushing the wheel in towards the body. This will allow you to get your feet a little bit further. And then drop the toes down onto your head.
the idea. Beautiful, Alfonsina. Good. Keep pushing your hands into the wheel. That's the idea. Good. Oh, I like that. Nice. How you doing, Anne-Marie? Good. There you go. Bring your feet a little bit further forward, Patricia, before you bring your feet down on your head, okay? You just have to get a little bit more height and bring your feet a little bit further, so keep pushing into the wheel. I'm going to show you another way to get into this, Miro, if you're doing it from the ground up, so that you don't need the wall. That's the idea.
So we're doing Gandha Varudasana?
Yeah.
I can jump into it.
Oh, you can? Okay. So I'm just, I was just teaching with wheel because a lot of people find it hard to get into this. So if you can do it by yourself, then great. Yeah. Nice, Miro. Okay. That's the idea. Okay. Okay, take a rest, everybody, for a second, for a bit. Okay, so I'm going to work on that because I like this Gerundasana thing just because it's a really it's a good way to bring consciousness or your awareness to your lower back, right? And it's a nice stretch for your lower back just because you don't have to compress as much when your legs are up. So if you're not using the wheel. So there's a few modifications that you can do if you're not quite there yet. You would just shift to one side, you bring your arms underneath the body. So your hands are pretty much, your baby fingers are together, your palms are down. And then you kick one leg up. So we start off by just seeing if you can get into this pose. So you bring one leg up and then you just support with the other foot. So that's one modification that you can do. You swing the leg up and you use the other foot to catch it. And then you try to move your foot closer in towards the root so that if you press these toes, you'll be able to get your foot up higher. Okay? Now if you're more proficient at the pose, you bring your elbows. That was just a warm-up, by the way. You bring your elbows close to the body. You bring your feet up. So my arms are hugging the body. My knees are bent. My toes are bent under. You raise the leg up, and then you just try to get to one leg up. And then from here, you keep pressing into your body. You walk in. So you're using your elbows to squeeze into your body as you're jumping up, pressing off the toes. And the vertebrae come up. Or keep your leg close to the body. Okay, so it's very important to keep your elbows really close to your body and press more with your hands than with your chin. Okay. So again, different options. You can just stay here if you like. Just to, depending where you're at with your practice. Okay, so either way, have no expectations, have no judgment as to what you can or cannot do, and just do your best. That's the idea. Bend the toes under. That's it. Scooch in, press into your hands, really hug the body with your elbows. That's the idea. Good. That's it, Emery. Good. Keep the leg that's up, keep the leg bent a little bit more so that you don't get, sometimes if you jump too hard, like you'll throw yourself over, then that's not a nice feeling. So keep your legs close to your body so that you have a little bit more control. Miro, do you know that one? Did you know that entry? Okay, good. That's the idea. Bring your elbows closer in towards your body, Anne-Marie, like really squeeze your arms against the body, really hug them tight. That's it, Patricia, beautiful. Yeah, nice. Nice. That's it, Alfonsina. Bend the leg, the leading leg a little bit, that's it. And bend your toes back, so flex your foot. That's it, yeah. Pull your toes back like you're flexing your foot. There you go. And give it 10 more seconds or so if you'd like to keep trying, and then take a rest. That's the idea. Good. All right. And let's rest. Breathe in, breathe out. Just shake your hips, just kind of, roll your hips from side to side a little bit, just kind of, yeah, release, release, release. Okay, come back to seated position. Okay, we're going to work towards bow pose, Dhanurasana. There's, of course, the conventional bow, so we can, hold on to the ankles. Press through the base of the toes again and heel. Lift the chest, keep the thighs on the ground, and then pull the feet up. Keep tugging on the feet, look up, eventually you will see the toes. All right, so let's give that a go first. For people who have limited flexibility, you can use a strap, right? And you can instruct your students to use a strap or a ring. So you take your strap out wide, and let's do this one first. And then you just pull up with your strap. Okay, so this is for people, of course, who have limited shoulder ability, right? So you would use a strap for that, or a wheel. Now, for those of you who are quite flexible, if you hold closer to the knees, you'll eventually go right onto your shins. Shins? Well, you can go flat, so I'll just show you. Anyways, I'm getting my body parts mixed up. So you come up first, you hold close to the shin, you pull it up, and then close to the knee, I should say, and then you would be able to roll a little bit towards the other side so you can get the other shin. And then you really press your, you can get a little bit of rolling motion. So again, you use your momentum, just like we did in that warm-up exercise. And if you press your shins into your hands, you'll eventually be able to come right into Cobra, right? So be mindful in this one, okay? So you have to really, again, get the extension in the lower back, really try to go long, and really press your shins into your hands. And you roll. And you roll. If you can get your thighs to the ground, you keep pulling until your toes come down. Okay, so this one, just do slowly and do mindfully, because this one is fairly, if you have a tight back, it's definitely not for those people. So think again of getting a really nice long extension through the lower back.
all the things, you know, all these things that we did in the warm-ups, they're all coming back now. They're all coming together. All right, so if you know this is not the thing for you, then don't force it. Okay, so just work on just trying to, even if you get your shins, like Emery, you got a pretty good hold there. So just work on just trying to push your shins back into your hands and pull the feet up. So that's the idea. Use a pelvic bone. Okay, so not so much like the belly to roll, use a pelvic bone. And that's will give you a little bit more, that's it, Alfonsina, good. Pull up on the legs, rise up. Imagine someone's pulling you up by strings by the feet and the top of the head. That's the idea. That's the idea. Good. So you got that pretty easily, Miro. So yeah, the thing that you want to work on next is to get your hands closer to the knees, and then you'll be able to get your feet all the way down to the ground behind you, okay? Whoops. That's the idea. Push with your shins. Okay, and release, relax. Forehead on the hands. Just shake out your hips. Just kind of do this with your hips, rolling back and forth. That's the idea. Someone's having a lot of fun in the Dharma home. Great. All right, so now we can sit up again. So working towards the full bow. So of course, if you have limited shoulder flexibility, again, like you have to be, you know, be respective of your conditions. If you have those open shoulders, you'll have a little bit more mobility. So to get into the full bow, you bend the toes under again. You come onto one arm, you take the foot. So I'm holding the outside edge of the foot, the thumb is pressing just underneath the base of the toes. The other fingers wrapped around the outside edge of the foot. You bring the foot up as high as you can so that your elbow is higher than the shoulder. And then, so when you pull the elbow forward, if you're not hurting your shoulder, it's a natural movement. So you want to you can use the strap again if you need to. You bring your foot up as high as you can first, and then you turn. And you keep pulling on as you take the other foot. So again, you take the other foot the same way. You bring the foot, bring your arms out wide, and then rotate the shoulder around. And then you'll be able to come up into your bow. That's the idea. Take your arm out wide from the outside and bring it in forward like that, okay? Good, Alfonsina, nice. That's the idea. Keep your elbow high. Keep a good grip. Good. While you're taking that, bend the toes under on the back foot. This just keeps you balanced. That's it. The idea is to work with your shoulders in a way that won't, you know, like you always have to be mindful of your shoulders when you're doing these poses so that you don't hurt yourself. So just always try to be mindful of what the natural movement of the arm is. That's the idea. And break the pose. Good stuff. Okay.
And rest. That's it, Alfonsina, nice. Keep walking your hands towards your feet. Eventually your hands will come right to the feet. Just keep walking your hands down the strap. Right. Remember to breathe through all these poses. That's the idea. And now push the feet into your hands. Push your hands towards the ceiling. That's it. Imagine you're being held from above. Good. All right. And release. Come into child's pose. Break the pose. Relax. So we're just going to do a little bit of a softer one now, Anahatasana. So come onto your hands and knees. So just gradually doing softer back bends to prepare us from just, to just come out of the back bends into like counter poses. So your hips are over the knees are about hip width apart. Walk your hands forward like you're doing a downward facing dog. Lower the forearms. Lower the chest and the chin. So you want to have your hips over the knees and just try to press your belly against the thighs. So you're trying to get your armpits even on the ground. Reach the arms forward and just, your back should look like a playground, a slide at the playground. So it's steep at the top of the slide and very shallow at the bottom. And just visualize the lower part of the spine where the seat is, just curl the tail under as much as you can. And as you feel comfortable, you can scoot your fingertips forward, but keep your hips over the knees. It's a good stretch for the shoulders as well. And you come down onto your belly. From here, just lifting your chest again. Interlace the fingers. Just stay long here. Extend the top of the head so the back of the neck is long, and raise the legs up. So you're making yourself look like a banana shape. Tuck the chin into the chest, so extend the back of the neck, extend the top of the head forward, extend the toes back. And release. Walk your hand, bring your hands underneath the shoulders, come into table, bend the toes under, and keep walking your hands forward until you find your way, bring your a very short downward facing dog. Okay, so now we're just going to walk our feet apart, straddle your legs, doing a twist here. So walk your hands again far forward, like a wide-legged downward dog. Move your hands so that your hands are directly in front of the left foot, about 2 feet away in front. And reach all the way under with your left hand. And just take hold of your right thigh and then start to slide your hand down the outside of the leg. So you might be able to go all the way down to the foot. Twist your seat up and back towards the left. And then roll the left shoulder under. Try to turn your chest towards the ceiling. Look underneath the right armpit. Now, if you're quite flexible, you might need to walk your feet in a little bit. You would walk your right hand to the left foot. You might be able to take your
outside edge of your foot, your left hand. And keep the seat up and keep the side body free of wrinkles as you can. Push the seat up and back. Get a nice twist in the side body. And then we turn both hands in front of left foot, and then just walk them towards the right. Pause in the middle for a moment. Get a nice long stretch, like you're stretching your back like a dog. And then start to continue your walk towards your right. Your hands are over the right foot this time. Reach underneath with the right arm, and then take hold of the outside of the left leg, and then walk your hand down the leg. And if you can reach the foot, if you need to walk your foot in a little bit, all good, go ahead. And you can just step on the fingers with the edge of the left foot. So look underneath your left arm. Take the seat back. And if you want, you can start to walk your left hand towards your right foot and just step on the fingers with your outside your right. Step on the fingers with your right foot. Push the seat back. Again, turn your chest up towards the sky. Look way beyond your left armpit. Again, think of the spine lengthening. And slowly release the right hands. Bring your hands again, walk them back in front of the right foot, and come back to the middle. Bring the seats back again, downward facing dog, stretch out the back. Bring the chest towards the ground, the top of the head way below the arms. And then we're going to bring our feet in, hip width, and lower the knees down into table. So this is a little bit of an extension we just did, threading the needle. So walk your hands all the way as far over to the left, to the right as possible. You can't go any further. You slip your left arm underneath the right. So the left shoulder's on the mat, and you bring the left ear in the ground. So you might be able to push with your right hand and try to get more on the back of the head. If you can do this, you can take the right arm all the way over to the other side if you like. Eventually, you might be able to get the right shoulder, back shoulder on the ground as well. Make sure you can still breathe. It shouldn't be so tight that it just absolutely restricts your throat and you can't let air pass. So be mindful again. And then start to come back. Right hand comes back if it went to the other side. Walk your way back to table. And just round your back and arch your back a few times, cat-cow a few times if that feels good. And then bring your hands all the way over to the right, left as much as possible, even past the knees. And then slide your your right arm through underneath the left arm. Try to get the back of the shoulder on the ground, the right ear on the ground, and then just start to push into your left hand until you can have your face facing up more. And then you can release the left arm. Now, tendency here maybe is to fall right over onto your side, so try to control it so that you don't lose your balance. Eventually try to get your left shoulder, back shoulder on the ground. You need to press your arm against your left leg so that you don't fall over onto your side. And then you make your way back slowly, reversing everything. Come back. And then just roll your way up, find your way onto your back. Shavasana. Just allow the whole body to relax. Just scan the body to see where there's any tension, any restriction, any holding, resistance. And then just try to imagine it just leaking out slowly, like air leaking from a balloon. Just allow it to just dissipate completely. Let go of all resistance, physical resistance. Soften. Relax all the joints. Anywhere you feel tightness in the shoulders, in the neck, in the face. Release. Imagine now an ocean, a beach, the waves rolling onto the sand. And then as the waves roll back out, it smooths out the sand. It leaves it completely clear and smooth, taking all the debris with it. As the wave comes in on the sand, it leaves sometimes some nice treasures, seashells or what have you. And it takes away as it goes out the seaweed and anything else to make the sand nice and smooth and pristine. In the same way, picture a wave rolling in from the fingertips and the toes up through the body, bringing in the best of the best of the universe. Everything that you need to in order to feel fulfilled and content. Bringing in love, good health, contentment, peace, wisdom. And as that wave retreats, it takes out all the negativity, anything that does not serve you.
anything that restricts you, anything that impedes you. So you keep in reserve all that you need. And you rid yourself of anything that does not serve you. Bring the attention to the heart space. Imagine it growing infinitely large. Large enough to hold all beings within. For in truth, we are all one. We hold each other in our hearts at all times because we hold God within. And God is our common thread that ties us together. Now slowly start to prepare to come back from Shavasana. Start to reconnect with the physical form. Feel the body starting to awaken. Once you're ready, with the utmost gentleness and reverence and mindfulness and quietness, make your way back to a seated position. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the divine grace. All is within. This concludes the practice. Thank you so very much for joining today, for sharing your energy. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope that was helpful.
Thanks, Justine. It was great.
Thank
I
you.
really love it.
So I will.
Thank you, Justine.
Marie. Thank you so much for coming. So I will try to download this and upload this to the World Mastery site. If that doesn't work, I will put it on my YouTube channel, but I'll put it in a private setting so only the people who are here can see it, so that, you know, maybe like the people from our group, so that your privacy is respected. So it's not going to, you know, be on my public network or anything like that. So I realize I probably should put this in speaker view, but I wanted to see you guys. So anyways, I hope it helped you. And it was really beautiful practicing with you and watching you all. Beautiful practices, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Even though I find backbends very challenging, and this week my back is even more stiff than it normally is, I love backbends and I feel so good when I do them. So I love that we covered every part, and you know, I really always feel much more confident about doing more backbends, even if my shape looks different than other people's. I don't mind. But that was really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it looked really great. And just, you know, you work according to your abilities. And everybody, yeah, every form looks different, but that's the beauty of it, right? You find a way to offer up in what you have, in the body you have, and it's still perfect and amazing. So thank you. Wonderful.
That's right, guys.
Thank you so much, Justine. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfonsina, again for helping me with this. And I really appreciate it. I'm hoping to have this thing working with World Mastery at some point. Has anybody else tried it, using it yet, teaching on it?
So I tested it.
Okay.
So my experience is that so it works. It's, for me, it worked. I tested as a broadcaster, as a viewer, but it requires for the web browser to access camera and microphone.
Yeah, I did that. The problem that we had was that I couldn't hear the students. I couldn't get them, like.
Everyone has to do it.
Pardon me?
Everyone has to do it. Everyone has to allow browser to access their microphone and the camera. Otherwise, it won't work.
Okay. Okay, so we'll give it another try. But like, yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, I'll run a few more experiments. But yeah, I just didn't. I could not, and sometimes I couldn't even see the students, and the sound was not very good. I think like when Alfonsina was hear me very well.
No, because when I signed in, it asked me to allow the broadcast audio and video, and I did.
Yeah.
And I was able to hear you very well, but your voice. But when sometimes it was very metallic. The sound was very metallic. It was not clear as in today. I don't know, Miro. Was it clear when you talked?
I did very limited test, but it worked fine for me.
I think for a class like this, and that's the class, I think it'll probably work if we do make sure everybody's got that. But for harmonium workshop, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to distort the sound too much. So in any case, I'll put this up, and like I said, like if I'll put in 2 links, one for the World Mastery one, hopefully that works. If not, then try the YouTube one, and it should work if you want to look at this one again. So, and if you have any other requests for other workshops, please let me know. I'm very happy to run other ones. So
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, Marie. Bye, Patricia.
Oh yeah, one more thing. January 3rd, I may or may not be able to teach. I had to bring, my son has to go back to Toronto that day. My husband said that he could do it, in which case I could probably teach. But if not, it's January 10th, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So I'll let you know in the week if it turns out that I have to move it. But so either be like January 3rd or January 10th for the next one for hip openers and hamstrings. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Namaste.
Bye.